There have been 22 officers shot in the last week. At least 3 have been killed. 1 is on life support. Thousands of others assaulted, harassed, and demonized. You don't know their names. You wouldn't recognize their faces. And you almost certainly won't post a box or a hashtag in their honor or memory, but they are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, husbands, and wives. They stand in the gap for you, for me, for those who hate them and don't care about their lives simply because they wear that badge. They are the thin blue line, and these are my final thoughts dedicated to them. Dave Patrick Underwood, David Dorn, and Shay McAlonis. Do their names sound familiar? Probably not, and understandably so, because they've received scant media coverage and 0 protests or riots have been ignited in their name. One is currently fighting for his life, and the other 2 have paid the ultimate price as a result of the madness, chaos, lawlessness, and despicable behavior that's consumed our nation over the last 5 days. And just last night, we added another name to the list, Moody, Alabama Sergeant Stephen Williams. He was shot dead last night, responding to a disturbance call from a Motel 8. Not only was he a 23-year veteran of law enforcement, but also part of the organization Humanizing the Badge, which is dedicated to bettering police and community relationships. He was a hero, a good cop, a good man. He gave his life, protecting and serving, and he's not the only one. Dave Patrick Underwood, 53, was a federal officer. He was gunned down, shot, and killed providing security at the U.S. courthouse in Oakland. Yes, he was an innocent black man who was gunned down and killed for no reason, but there was no significant national outrage or outcry following his death. Why? David Dorn, 77, was a retired St. Louis police captain. He was shot and killed outside of a looted pawn shop. He was killed trying to stop the looting of that pawn shop. Yes, he was an innocent black man who was gunned down and killed for no reason, but again, there was no significant national outrage or outcry following his death. Why? Shay McAlonis, 29, is in critical condition after he was shot execution style in the back of the head while arresting a protester in Las Vegas Monday night. All 3 of these brave men were senselessly attacked. For what? In the name of justice for George Floyd? No, that cannot be the case. To those in the movement, is this the justice you're looking for? A nationwide war on cops? Because the writing is on the wall. After all the stores have been looted, all the windows smashed, what will the protesters, looters, and rioters turn to next? Well, I can tell you, because sadly we've seen it just 4 years ago. Not even 4 years ago, on July 7th, 2016, 5 officers were ambushed and shot to death in the Dallas massacre during a BLM protest, wherein the shooter set out to kill white cops to avenge the death of Alton Sterling. Then just after that, on July 17th in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 6 officers were shot, 3 fatally. One of them was again an innocent black man, but the BLM movement did not activate on his behalf. Did his life of service and sacrifice not matter? This is what happens when anger and hatred overcome reason and logic. That is what happens when you blame all officers for the actions of a few bad apples. You get a war on cops. This is not justice. This is not equality. This is not acceptable, decent, or in any way, shape, or form the answer to any injustice, racial or otherwise. Though it might not score social media points to honor, defend, and support our police officers, I will do it proudly. I will do it proudly because the thin blue line represents the hundreds of thousands of men and women of all races who stand in the gap and put their lives on the line each and every single day for humans of every color, including those who hate them. The thin blue line represents the hundreds of thousands of officers who are out in the streets protecting businesses, property, and even protesters, even as rocks, bricks, and even bullets come their way. They can't say anything. They have to stand there and take it. They don't get a social media trend or a box. They get overtime, hate, insults, assaults, and violence over an act they didn't commit. They will be out there protecting you whether you hate them or not. Just like you, they are disgusted by the actions of the bad apples in the law enforcement field. Just like you, they want to do their jobs and come home to their families each night. Please remember that as you jump on the bandwagon to demonize them. Those are my final thoughts from Nashville. God bless and take care.